Yo, what's going on? I'm OMGT.
And I'm Jordan.
And we are the Black Bookkeepers here with another episode.
So we're going to hit you with our pros and cons about technology, what we like about it, what we don't like about it, how we think it could hold us back, how we think it could hold you guys back. And let's just talk about it. Let's get into the pros. I'm going to say the biggest pro that I could think of was free information and information at the palm of your hands. Yeah. Now, we're a book podcast, so we're always going to stick with the books. I think books give you knowledge over a long period of time. So when you're picking up a book, you're getting the knowledge of someone who's working years and throwing that information in the book. But with the internet, you have people who are just doing fast information. If you need quick information, it's basically information right now. What we're used to anyway, what millennials are used to anyway. Absolutely. So I'm more about YouTube and podcasts when it comes to that type of information. How do you get your information?
I'm the same way, like she said, we are a book podcast, but it's always helpful. Like sometimes you don't have a book on every single thing. I wish I did, right? But sometimes that's not the case. So you do have forms of YouTube, you have forms of, and my least favorite thing I will say is like searching on Google. Like I prefer to search on YouTube rather than Google, because Google, it's just a lot of BS on Google. It's a lot of I remember when I was younger, if I was feeling some type of way, I'd type in my symptoms, and sometimes they say you got cancer.
No, for real. Every single time you got a fever and you got 3 weeks to live, for real.
It can be too crazy. It can be too flooded, but I'm definitely a YouTuber. I definitely, I love YouTube so much. That's why we came together to make a channel. YouTube and taught me how to program my garage remote, and then taught me how to reset my computers, and taught me how to fix computers, and then gave me different information on books, TED Talks. I mean, it's a plethora of good information that can be used on there,
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like, it's very rare that you would buy a whole book just to fix a garage remote, right? Right. But you can go on YouTube really quick, and even then, you can skip to minute 3 and just watch 1 minute. And you're like, okay, cool, that's all I needed. You don't need a whole book of information. So I think that's another reason why technology now is a little bit better than books in that sense. Mm-hmm. You don't need the whole 200 pages to figure out something. You know what you want to get done, and then you just need a video or 2 or an article on that, and you're good. So
I agree. It's good to have like a balance. I prefer to have my physical copy books. That's my favorite way to learn. And why I like that? It's just because, like, when I was a child, I read, or when I was younger, I read Fahrenheit 451. And the biggest message of all was that, they were burning up books. They wanted to hide knowledge from people. And I thought that was very powerful, because there's a lot of knowledge in books, right? But the reason why I prefer physical copies sometimes is just for the fact that anything can happen on internet. Like, if a book get banned on the internet, they can cut it off and it's gone forever. So that's my first preference. But like you said, though, it's nice to get everything condensed down into a 6-minute video. And sometimes you do have to skip. Sometimes you just got to get to the point, because I don't know why people love an extremely long intro. Get to the point. It should be a 2 to 3 minute video. You'd have made this thing 16 minutes. But no, definitely, YouTube is a beautiful pro in my life, and I'm very thankful from it. And I'm not, ashamed to admit that.
Yeah, I agree. So I think that is the pro of that. But I think also, kind of like you said, it's just too much information. It can be too much information. And I would say that's the con. Mm-hmm. If you Google, does cold weather make my hair fall out? You're going to find an article that says it does. And then if you Google, does cold weather make my hair grow longer, there's going to be an article about how you can be like Rapunzel. Mm-hmm. So it's just too much information and too many people that have too many different opinions. And we can tend to fall victim to believing anything we see on the internet. And I feel like with the younger generation, because we see what, 4 and 5-year-olds with phones. Yeah. So they can get their hands on any type of information that they weren't able to maybe back in the day. And that can be a con, because I think protecting our youth from certain things is actually going to be detrimental in how our society turns as we progress in society. And yeah, and some of the information I see, especially with TikTok, is I feel like it's kind of detrimental to some of the youth. So that's definitely a con, I feel.
I agree. I agree with that wholeheartedly. You know, it's funny because I was having a debate, and I'm so happy the girl ended up unfollowing me. It was such a stress relief. But I was having a debate with somebody in my DMs, and she brought up this article. It's just to prove her point to me. Now, mind you, I like articles, but I would never take an article as in learning a full subject, right? I would use it as a piece of the entire subject and scope. But it was like bioengineering versus natural food. So let's just say that, right? And the article was, just saying all pros about bioengineer. And I learned from a book previous before that when you look at different articles, you have to see the author and you have to know what are their intentions, right? So she said it to me. She was like, no, bioengineered food is the same as natural foods, same as natural food. So I'm reading the article and then I just start highlighting the points I disagree with. And I looked at the author. The author was a bioengineer. Like, if I'm a bioengineer, why would I talk about how wouldn't I be biased? Like, why would I say things that will win in the natural food? And it's so easy for us to see a topic on YouTube. We see a topic on YouTube or an article on Twitter, and we see the first 6 or 7 words, and we we don't read the article in its entirety.
Yeah, we take it and run with it.
We take it and run with it. And that's the thing. And now I pointed that out to her, and then she just hit me with it wasn't really much she can say, but I'm like, do you find this credible that in this argument that you present to me that the person who wrote this is a bioengineer raving for or in pro for bioengineered foods? So, like I said, like sometimes I've met people who will see a couple, even the article point. Let's see an article, a 2-page article, and feel like an entire subject just from reading the 2 pages, and it creates a very biased window. So it can be very like you said, you can prove any type of point when it comes to the information that's on the internet. You can prove any type of point. There's somebody in some field that's saying yes and saying no in every single sense of the word. But as far as me, I kind of flutter through the BS. It has to make sense to me. I'm looking at the intent. I'm looking at if it's any biasm. But I know I'm doing that. I just don't feel like maybe everyone does that. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not giving everybody that credit of doing these due diligence when it comes to information on the internet.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing that would be useful is like how-tos, learning skills and things like that. Yeah. Because when it comes to opinionated articles, opinionated videos, that's what it is. It's someone's opinion, and people tend to take that as fact. And also, I think a huge thing just to remember that I have to keep myself when I see certain videos and certain articles, stuff like that, is that usually the truth lies somewhere in between, in the middle. People are usually on one side of the extremes. So you have to remember that the truth is somewhere in the middle. So, but yeah.
I agree. So since we on pros, right? One of the things that I love absolutely about technology and internet is connectivity. I've been able and blessed and fortunate to meet and befriend some amazing, dope, like-minded individuals just from the internet. I mean, we live in a certain proximity, and in this proximity, 9 times out of 10, you go to school and you kind of stay in the same circle, right? We always get comfortable with our circles unless you have the privilege of like losing or losing friends. And I say privilege because sometimes that needs to happen, but I've been able to connect, get in different book clubs and have different ideas presented to me, network, be able to go out of town, meet these people, learn information. That's one of the things that I feel like is one of my strongest things, because you can meet or send a message to anybody within the world in seconds. Humans have never had this type of access within all of our years and all of our years of evolving and evolution. We haven't had that opportunity. It wasn't that easy to talk to someone in China or to see what's going on in America or Brazil or any other place across the world. But now I can send a message and get an instantaneous response back from somebody in a whole different country. It's not even the same time of day as me, but you're able to use that. Have you used that for that fact?
Yeah, I can definitely attest to that. Not only the fact that you can network with people like-minded to you, because I don't know very many people who, I'm an extremist in a lot of things I do, and I don't know many people who are on the level of extremist that I'm at least within my realm, my circumference of where I'm at. But the internet allows you to find other people who are kind of on the same train that you're on, or the same things that you're on, the same goals you're on. So not only the networking aspect, but like you said, you can send message instantaneously to people who you normally wouldn't be able to contact. So for me, that is meaning Instagram famous people, YouTube famous people. I will send messages if I have a question. If I think you can help me, I'm going to send a message. I've messaged a couple people that have, that have hundreds of thousands of followers, because they have said knowledge that I'm impressed with, and I want to pick their brains. And if they'll answer me, why not? Why wouldn't I want to get information to someone who's where I want to be? So I would never be able to have this opportunity if I was born how many years ago? Maybe 30, 20?
Yeah,
maybe
not even
20.
that far.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to get in contact with these people. So now I'm able to get in contact with people who previously I wouldn't have been able, probably never in the same room with, at least at this stage of life that I'm at now. So
not even in the same room, and you don't even know these people would have existed. You know what I'm saying? So outside of the TV, I mean, the TV has been around, but the TV is a selected. I don't think people understand how selective what goes on TV is. TV programming is owned by certain individuals, and whatever they want to see, whatever they want to expose, that's what really go on there. It isn't like YouTube stuff or how-tos, or it isn't like this abundance of information. But like you said, the fact that the opportunity is there, if you have opportunity and you use it, like me or you can get a lot of things done. So that's one of my favorite pros about technology. What else? What would you say is another pro?
All right. So what else is a pro? I would say another pro is that this is new to society, new to people, is you can make money from your bed. Absolutely. You can make money anywhere in the world. You can make money traveling. You can make money on your day off. This has never been heard of, and this has never been seen of. And they said because of the way that our society is, how people can make money on the internet so easily, this is like one of the, I think it was either last year or the year before, that had the most millionaires ever in history. And it's truly because you can make money anywhere. You don't have to rely on a 9-to-5 anymore, and trading your time for the exact amount of money your time is worth. Yeah. So
for sure. I know you've been fortunate to have an online business currently or before. And I know I've had the experience of having previously an online store, open up a new store. But yeah, this is crazy. Like I said, it provides you with opportunity. Now, everyone don't capitalize off that opportunity, right? But for those who do and understand the power, you can make money from your bed. You don't have to go out. I don't have to work. Now, some people still do. Some people, may not be that technology adept. But yeah, but it's just incredible now. Like you just have an immense opportunity to really make money. And how many new millionaires was it last year?
I don't know the exact number, but they just said it's the most there's ever been in history.
Last year. So with NFTs coming out, a lot of people getting the cryptocurrency, a lot of people just due to technology advancing their financial literacy in these fields, it's easier. And by it being easier to get easier to get into these classes, these upper middle classes, it's making a larger pool. Now, don't get me wrong, it's a lot of people who not making money, and with what I was about to say, inflammation, with inflation going up and with wages not being able to increase, that it's a lot of people who are becoming poorer and poorer and poorer. So it's cool to kind of see how it shifts, and how with you not being able to use this opportunity, or you not making it a thing to have multiple sources of income, it's easy to get left behind now, or it's easier, the way we're trending, it's easy to get left behind. So did you see that report where it said like in the 2030s, the median Black wealth would be like at 0?
I saw some people on Instagram that I follow talking about how Black wealth is diminishing. I don't believe that though, because this is the most I've ever seen Black people interested in investing. I feel like there's no possible way that our net worth should be 0 in, was that 8 years, 8 to 10?
Yeah, I don't remember the exact one, but it was like 2030s. It was something like in the 30s.
Yeah.
But yeah, but upwards of 8 years, and with inflation and with everything, costs going up and wages not being able to match that, you don't see that happening?
No, I don't see that happening, but I do want to touch on what you were talking about with the opportunities for making money. And I feel like there is a con to that as well. So I do think that people should try to utilize the opportunity to make money to the fullest extent. However, I think that once again, this kind of ties in with, there's so many opinions and everyone has an opinion. I think people also make it look too easy. From someone who has had a Shopify and did all that, did the Facebook marketing, did the Instagram influencer marketing, did the drop shipping, did the sneaker business, studied stock. I spend hours and hours and hours on trying to figure out ways I can make a income that's close to my 9 to 5, and it's not easy. And honestly, I'm nowhere near it right now. Mm-hmm. And it's been some years. So I don't want people to get discouraged when they say, oh, you should be making $100,000. All you got to do is buy this thing off of Alibaba and drop ship it to everybody in the US. It's not that easy. But I do think that people should take the opportunity to at least learn. And if you enjoy doing it, that's kind of where I feel like it makes the difference. Because if you enjoy doing a side business and you're bringing in an extra 10, 20, 30,000 a year, then I think that's where it's a game changer.
Absolutely. And you know, I like to agree. I'll test that point. I agree with that point. It's very possible. And that's what I do love about social media, is the fact that, and you know, you never really know who's being truthful, who's lying, but it lets you know that it's possible. It lets you know that sometimes, you know, I'll follow people 2 to 3 years, and I've been able to see the growth, see them acquire the businesses. I'm seeing the courses being dropped. I'm seeing all these wide range of things. And that's what gives me, it kind of pumps me up and gives me that inspiration to let you know, okay, but this person can do it. I don't see why I couldn't. I don't see how this person, I don't feel like it's magic. I just feel like it's a work ethic. And I definitely feel like it's having the right information. So with all the pros, right? Did you have anything to add to that?
Nah.
With all the pros being said, right? Technology can also be a huge, huge downfall on us all. And I'll be the first to admit, sometimes it can be extremely distracting. And you know what's interesting about it being distracting, right? There's been different things of where the former Facebook CEO and different people in the tech industry are saying that some of the apps on our phone are being made to where it's a subtle and a light addiction, due to the fact that we get dopamine from seeing hearts, seeing likes. That's definitely, go ahead.
Yeah, they hire people and probably pay them in a crazy salary. I'm sure it's probably like 200,000 just to figure out how the human brain works and get people to, feel that dopamine from certain aspects of their app and keep people on the app. Basically, they're paying people to say, how can you keep someone on the app for as long as possible? So,
and that can be dangerous, right? Because I look at social media like this. Social media can be a free promo you can get your businesses out there. You can just spread word, right? You can use it for marketing and advertisement purposes. But some people, and a lot of people, do not use it for that aspect. Use it for leisure time or filling up entertainment. And it's funny because one week I noticed like my number, it was so crazy. It was like, and this was a while back, but I think it was like maybe when it first came out, when the feature first came out, I said it was like 10 hours a day. Now, mind you, I do a lot of YouTube, and YouTube does count, and I learn a lot of YouTube, but it's just crazy that you can be on your phone for an average of 10 hours a day. So since that first one came out, I've been working relentlessly to do everything. Like I said last video, I have timers on my apps now. I try to follow them as much as possible, but this is low-key addiction. You know, I've even been on dates, on outings with friends where they're not even paying attention to me. They just on their phone. And they're scrolling, they're looking at things, and I always got to joke with my friends. I'm like, okay, now at 2:00 at night, if you stranded, if you in need, make sure whoever you ignore me for on Instagram, come get you, come help you out, because it could be a slap in your face. And this is so hard. Like it's become ridiculously hard to put people for people to put their phones down. Do you ever do that ever happen to you? Like, do you ever get ignored for the phone?
Do I ever get ignored for the phone?
With anybody, friends, family.
Oh yeah. With anybody, yeah. But you know, when I go home to my parents' house, they always are talking about me and my brother are the ones doing the ignoring. And then I feel like in my relationships, I guess I struggle with that as well. I just kind of get distracted extremely easily. Usually when I'm on the phone with someone, I'll also be on the internet, and that's something I have to work on. So,
right.
But yeah, the people who they pay $300,000 a year for, you guys are doing a great job, because I definitely lose track of time.
You can. It's so easy to. It's so easy to. Like you said, they doing a damn good job. I find myself and sometimes I feel like, wow, you know, with the internet, with social media, with Netflix, with YouTube, sometimes I feel like it's just a fight for attention. They are fighting for our attention. And we all know, if you have goals in life, if you have things you want to accomplish, you need to be like tunnel vision on them. Any little distraction, any kicking it, any going out, any wasting time on your cell phone takes away from you achieving the goals that you want to achieve, to grow, to prosper. So the fact that it's like a fight for your attention, how can I steal your brain? How can I steal your brain? How can I steal your attention and focus? It's a battle. It's a battle now to be focused. It's the biggest battle ever. That's why it's the most information that's out right now, but it's also a large amount of people who don't capitalize off of it, because some way, somehow, we are heavily distracted.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's difficult, but if you have goals that you really want to implement, you have to figure it out. Kind of like we said, setting different type of boundaries on your phone to kind of steer you away from the distraction as much as possible.
Yeah, and touching on that, just to kind of add to that post, right? Connectivity. And this was funny. Again, the former Facebook CEO, he said, you know, when they first created Facebook, you know, they wanted people to come together. You wanted to keep up with your family more. You seeing their pictures, you know, just checking on them day to day. And this is pre-COVID, right? We don't connect as much. And I won't speak on your family, but I'm talking about my intermediate family and outside family. I remember when I was growing up, it was always barbecues, always family get-togethers. We was always getting together at some point, sometime. And now it seems like, oh, well, I could just look at my cousin. Oh, okay, she's doing good. Her kid's cute. There isn't no need for interaction with people that much anymore, because you can do it far away, right? And this is even before COVID existed, because I know the world has placed the importance of social distancing, staying away, doing things virtual, but Zoom was out pre-COVID. People were having Zoom meetings before that. Some families, we were doing things so like distancing before this. Maybe not at concerts or at grocery stores, but I definitely felt like I didn't have as many barbecues as growing up. I didn't have as many interactions as growing up. I'm keeping up. It's easy to send my family a message now. Yeah, so I feel like that's a big con. Like I feel like I agree with the former Facebook CEO, one of them, where he said, we kind of brought we tried to bring people together, but the intentions, the root intentions behind this is kind of keeping people apart, keeping people separate.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I think that not only are we missing out on in-person opportunities now, but people are also losing social skills because of it. And also people just get real bold on the internet. And I think, yeah, I definitely think there's some cons with it that is against what Zuckerberg, I guess, had claimed that the app was originally for. So yeah, I definitely agree with you.
So overall, though, I just feel like it's pros and cons, but at the end of the day, it's all how you use it. It's all how you use it, and even though it's hard to stay distracted, if you use these apps intentionally and you give them your all to like stay focused and use them in a creative way, in a way that you can grow, that you can build your brand, you definitely can get so much out of it. But just remember that these apps, this social media, this overflow of information, it can also be draining. It can also pull you back and also keep you confused out here. And I just feel like it's all about how you use it. That's anything, right? How you use it and what you got going on. So I'm definitely a lover of technology, but I can definitely see different ways on how it can be very addictive and how it can, make performance in human beings lower.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like we talked about the whole video, it definitely has its pros and its cons. And I agree with you. It's how you use it. It's your intentions on the whole thing. What are your intentions with it? And if it's not meeting your intentions, then you don't have to get on it. I think people feel like they're missing out if they're not on the internet, if they're not on social media. They feel like they're missing out. But at the end of the day, they're not missing out on anything. So just take the opportunities as they come, use them to your fullest extent, and there you have it.
All right now. Well, again, we like to keep these quick. We just like to put in here. Now, what about y'all? Do y'all feel like we missed something? Do y'all feel like maybe it was a pro that we missed, or maybe it's another con that we missed? I think we just wanted to touch on the main points, but leave a comment below. Let us know. Is there any pros and cons that we missed? I'm very curious to see what you guys have to say. And, let us know. Okay, I'm on GT.
And I'm Jordan.
And this has been another episode.